everyone. Today we're going to read chapter 3 of Midnight on the Moon. Remember, the past 2 days, Jack and Annie went back to the treehouse and they wished they could go somewhere new. Where are they? Yeah, they're on the moon. So we're going to figure out what happens to them next. While I'm reading chapter 3, I want you to really think about what your summary of the chapter is. Remember, the summary is the most important part. This is the part that you want to glue in your brain so you remember it tomorrow when we start reading again. All right, chapter 3, Open Sesame. The fourth M thing must be out there, said Annie. Besides the door was a button with the word open on it. Annie reached for the button. Wait! Jack grabbed her hand. There's no air on the moon, remember? Oh, right. But we have to go find the M thing. Let's see what the book said Jack. He pulled out the book out of his backpack, flipped through it until he found a page that showed the surface of the moon. He read aloud. It takes 14 Earth days to equal 1 day on the moon. No air protects the moon from sun rays, so daytime it reaches 260 degrees. That is so hot. Jack looked at Annie. I told you your blood would boil if we went out there, he said. Yuck, she said. Jack read from the book again. Moon scientists wear spacesuits, which have controls to keep them from getting too hot or too cold, and they have tanks, which provides them air for 2 hours. Where do we get the spacesuits? Asked Annie. She looked around, down the hall. Maybe there? Jack was studying his map. Let's try the spacesuit storeroom. Don't look at the map. Look at the real room. Jack glanced up. Annie was peering through a doorway off the hall. There is a ton of space stuff in here, she said. Jack went to look. Bulky white suits hung from hangers. Air tanks, helmets, gloves, and boots sat in neat rows on the shelves. Wow, it looks like the armor room in the castle, said Jack. Yeah, with huge armor, said Annie. Let's pick out the smallest stuff, said Jack. The suits can go over our clothes. Annie found the smallest white suit, and Jack found the next smallest. They stepped into them. Then Annie locked Jack's air tank into place. Thanks, he said, and he did the same for her. Thanks, she said. Gloves, said Jack. He and Annie put on their white gloves. Boots, Annie said. They each put on a pair of huge white boots. Helmets, said Jack. They reached for a helmet. Wow, they're pretty light, he said. I thought they'd be like night helmets. Check them out. Do they look ready to go? Jack and Annie put the helmets on. They locked each other's into place. I can't move my head left or right, said Annie. Me neither, said Jack. Let's try walking. Jack and Annie moved clumsily around the room. Jack felt like a fat snowman. Close your visor, said Annie. The visor is the piece that goes over their eyes. So you could open it, and then you could reach in and touch your eyes. And then when you close the visor, if you poked it, you would hit like a little glass piece. They both closed their see-through visors. Cool air filled Jack's helmet. I can breathe, yelled Annie. Her voice boomed in Jack's ears. Ow! Talk quietly, said Jack. We have two-way radios inside our helmets. Sorry, whispered Annie. Jack put the moon book back into his pack, then slung it over his shoulder. Okay, he said. Remember, we only have 2 hours of air in our tank, so we need to find the fourth M thing really fast. I hope we can find it, said Annie. Me too, said Jack. He knew they could not go home until they did. Let's go, said Annie. She gave Jack a little push. Watch it. No goofing off, he said. We don't want to fall over in these suits. Just go. Go, said Annie, and she pushed him out of the room. They walked back into the airlock. Ready? Said Annie. Open sesame, and she pressed open the button. A door slowly slid closed behind them. A door opened in front of them. Jack and Annie stepped out onto the moon. All right, friends, that's the end of chapter 3. I want you to think in your brain right now about your summary. What was the most important part of this chapter? What did Jack and Annie put on? And where are they headed? So today, you guys, you're going to write your summary and you get to pick which way you write it. You have two options. The first option is you can write and draw on the drawing tool on Seesaw. The second option is that you can get a piece of paper and a pencil and write it like we used to do at school. I have attached the two examples for what my writing looks like today. I did one on the drawing tool and one on paper. So if you need a little bit of extra help, go ahead and check those out.